Ready to shine inside out? Welcome to Polished Beauty Podcast, where ambition meets empowerment. We talk business, beauty, brain, body. I am your host, Dr. Daisy Ayim, triple board certified cosmetic surgeon and OBGYN. Let's get polished. Hey everyone, so mid-year is here. We have spent 6 months already and we have 6 months to go. What have you done in the previous 6 months? This is the moment to do that mid-year review. I call it mirror moment. You're looking at a mirror, you're looking at yourself, and you're asking yourself some real questions. It could be hard, it could be soft, but you are taking that initiative to assess, You know how when you do tests or your interviews, sometimes they ask you to do some self-assessment. Like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses, and what can you bring to the table? What can you contribute? That kind of conversation. So you need to do that for yourself mid-year. And this is what this podcast is all about. Today, we're going to focus on 3 things, and I call it my mid-year 3 R's. The first one is reflect. You're going to honestly look at yourself. Then you're going to reset, because reset is important, and it would lead to the last one, which is realignment. So reflection, reset, realignment. That's what this podcast is all about today. And we're going to go straight into reset. Or actually, no, we're going to go straight into reflect. Let's take a moment. When I talk about reflect, I am referring to your personal life, your professional life, and your relationships. You're going to reflect on all 3 aspects, and it doesn't have to be one over the other. I really want you to look at all 3. Even if it feels like everything is going great, reassess it, reflect on it. The first thing is, am I taking care of myself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally? Where am I on all those 4 parameters when it comes to personal reflection? You don't have to answer it, but think about it. And then professionally, you can ask yourself some key things. What wins have I had so far? What misses have I had so far? We're not going to say losses, right? Because a loss is still in progress, is what I call it. So it's a missed or near missed. And that dynamic professional is really important, because that's what allows you to take that next step, to pivot, to jump, or to be still. All right. The third thing is relationships. Where are you with that? Whether it's your sibling relationships, your partner relationships, your parent relationship, your children relationship, your friendship relationship. Just looking at it, are they fueling me or are they draining me? It's a very hard thing to do, but you have to look at it, reflect on it, and make the necessary shift and changes that it comes with. The best thing when I'm doing reflection, I always ask myself, what is the thing that I am most proud of in this past 6 months? And I journal it down. And I want you to do this exercise. Get a journal, and the title is going to be, what is the thing I am most proud of in the first 6 months? And just write about it. No filter, just your raw truth. It doesn't have to be organized, just whatever. And that's what I want you to focus on this mid-year review. It's a little action step, and it does something to you, because we're focusing on that internal spirit to bring that joy in the mid-year so we can pivot and finish strongly, okay? So journal, what are you most proud of the first 6 months of the year? Your reset. This is where you really look at yourself and say, what shift do I need to make? What is moving? What is not moving? What do I need to abort? Because you can walk away. What do I need to go hard on? So this is where you are making that shift. If you've ever driven a stick shift car, you see how you have to move the gear back and forth. It's not like automatic where you just enjoy the leisure once it's on drive. Shift, you have to actually actively engage in the car moving forward or slowing down. That's what the reset is that type of car or that type of driving, okay? Another thing is identify 2 to 3 things that no longer serve you well. And I need for you to be very intentional about this. It's not an emotional driven exercise. It's literally a clarity. Your mind has to be focused. Think about it. Write those 2 to 3 things down, and then give yourself the permission to quit if you need to, or reassess it and move things around, or get help, okay? And you really have to allow yourself to be able to quit on things that are toxic, bad stimulants, outdated goals, things that are not in the path of where you're trying to go. Give yourself that permission to pause and reset. It's okay. It's not a loss, it's just a redirection, okay? And there's this feeling of like when something is not going well, you feel very sunken, you feel very down. And just because you start something doesn't mean you have to finish it. That's why this 6 months review is important, because you may have had your New Year's Eve or your New Year's goal, which I don't really subscribe to resolution or goals, but you may have it. And then 6 months later you look at it and say, that wrong, or it's not serving its purpose. Give yourself the opportunity to walk away or to change it. If you're watching this episode of the podcast, you can see in my background where I'm sitting, right? This is the same room or the same location that I've recorded the previous episodes of my podcast. I've recorded 40 already, and I launched October 1st, and I've recorded 40 podcasts. So I am celebrating that win, although it's 9 months later that I'm celebrating, but it's still a mid-year win. When you look at this background, you see to my left, that's where I usually sit to record prior episode. Part of me recording this today, I was like, you also have to do an internal media review, assessment, mirror, whatnot, because I truly do. And one of the things that I'd wanted to do sometime earlier was to change this room to be more conducive for me recording my podcast. And because I was starting and I was busy, didn't have enough time to plan the way and do what I needed to do, I just bought those 2 chairs, put it right there, got a mic and said, okay, I'm recording and that's it. And I've done that for 40 episodes. But for this episode today, I said, I'm going to move this chair, put the camera right here, and you're going to see this room recorded. Part of the reason why I didn't want to show this room is because it's sort of like a multi-purpose room. My fitness gym is right in front of me right there. Behind me is, it's a large king size bed. Whatever purpose it serves, it's not really anything. And then you have that setup over there. And then there's a huge space there. So it's a very big room. It's bigger than most primary room. That's why I have all these things here. But I wanted to have a decor that is in alignment of my podcast, and I just didn't have time to do it. So for my media review, I just said, you know what? I'm going to record right here. You guys are going to see it. And if you have any suggestion to give me, I will gladly take your interior design. So pro tip for reset, I need for you to audit your calendar, look at all the things that you have done from January to June and see where your energy is leaking and see what is fueling your energy. And if it's not in alignment, I need for you to be out, which takes me to the third point of mid-year, which is alignment, realignment. This is where you ask yourself, where am I headed? Like, where am I going with this? Whatever that this is, right? My personal relationship, where am I going with? My professional relationship, where am I going with? All the dynamics in your life. Where are we going? And it can be very easy to spend time just going through life. And the next thing you know, a year is over, 2 years is over, and you're just like, wow, that went by fast. But when you do this mid-year pause, you can actually document and see if things are moving or align with your purpose. So if I was to fast forward to December 1st, that's coming up, what do I want to say that I have accomplished? That's what the realignment is. What do you want to say in December I have accomplished so far? And if you cannot say it with your chest out, this is the time to intentionally do things to make it happen for you, okay? I need for you to revisit your why. Why are you doing whatever it is you're doing? Why are you in this predicament? Why are you happy? Why are you sad? Why are you not living your best life, whatever that definition is for you? And does it still motivate you? Because that is what is going to help with your realignment. Are you motivated? Are you finding joy in what you're doing? So, pro tip, the word intention is powerful. You have to be intentional about what it is you're trying to do professionally, personally, and privately. And I need for you to write this word down. intentional, okay? Because intentional brings a couple of things that's very valuable to you. It's going to bring clarity, it's going to bring courage, it's going to bring elevation, and more importantly, it's going to bring softness. Okay. Softness just means that you are at ease in how you move in your life because you are intentional. Okay. Overall, I can tell you for myself, I like to piggyback to like my podcast. When I decided on this podcast to actually launch it, remember it was 4 years in planning. And then I decided October 1st, 2024 to launch it. I didn't have all the tools necessary to get it going. I was like, get a mic. Which mic do I get? And let me tell you guys, I have bought 3 different mics and none of them has served the purpose. I record with no mic. And if you're a podcaster guru, you may pick up on that. Why is that? Well, the first one I got was this wireless mic right here. I plug it in my phone, follow an instruction, I plug it here. I recorded an entire episode only to find out that it wasn't synchronized and there was no word at all. All 20 minutes of it. I was so frustrated, I said, forget it. Then I got this beautiful mic, which everyone says the best Rode mic, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to use this to record. What was the problem? This tip that goes into your phone or your recording device. I have an iPhone 11 Pro. It's not compatible, y'all. So I was like, wait a minute. I have to go buy an iPhone 16 to use this beautiful mic. I'm not doing it. And by the time I decided to return it, I think the 30 days had gone by or something. So I'm stuck with this mic until I upgrade my iPhone, which I don't like to upgrade until I'm forced to, because I feel like it's a money grab from the higher bins of Apple family. Yeah, I said it out loud. So yes, I'll stick to my iPhone 11 and recording until they decide to kick me out. Then I'll get a new one and this mic will be compatible. I'm telling you all of this to show you that, I did a deep dive reset. And one of the things I'm happy to announce today on this podcast is that I have officially brought in a team to assist me with the podcast. If you listen to my first episode, I did not have a team. It's been me the entire time, all 40 episodes, cutting, pasting, video editing, compressing, finding the right lighting. Oh my gosh, I've learned so much and it was beyond me. And I loved doing that. It was frustrating, but I still loved it. So I hired a team. And so going forward, you're going to see and maybe feel a difference in my podcast, and I hope it's elevated because that's what outsourcing is, right? So your mid-year review or your mirror moment is to look at where you are, celebrate your wins, and realign your mist for it to be a win on December 31st. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and like always, continue to share, like, and follow. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for listening. Video recording of this episode will be featured on our YouTube channel, Dr. Daisy Ayim. We are also found on Instagram at Polish Beauty Podcast or at Dr. Daisy Ayim. Remember, new episode drop every Wednesday, so stay tuned. Please like, share, follow.